What's up, everybody? Welcome to the ReCoop. I'm your host, Cooper Daniel. What's going on, everybody? How are you doing? Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. I hope all of you and your loved ones embraced each other last night and said, I love you so much. I'm so grateful for everything you do. Today, we've got a special guest. I look different? Is this the way I usually look? Folks, last night, here, let's bring our guest in. Let's talk to Crypto for Change from the next block. Let's talk about it. Let's get him in here. How do we do this? Like this. This is probably the right way to do it, right? Hold on. Shit. You know what I did? Oh, there's your baby, and I'm swearing, but I can't hear him. Why don't I have my headphones? What's wrong with me? But can you guys hear him? Okay, what's going on, everybody? Hold on 1 second. Let's actually get him in a real thing here. Oh,
there we go. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay, if I don't have headphones,
yeah, it's you. You're on TV.
Hi.
Say Happy New Year, 2024.
Hey.
Going to the beach.
Are you guys going to the beach?
Yeah, we're going to be going out. Well, he's going now, but I will be joining in a little bit.
What's the see you later, buddy?
Yeah, say bye-bye. Bye.
Bye. What's the weather like over there?
In the upper 60s, I think now, probably like 68 or so. It's almost 70.
This sounds good to me. I'm wondering if my computer are you guys getting feedback, or does everything sound okay on your end?
Everything sounds good to me. It could be, you might also be hearing my wife and son still kind of making noise as they're leaving.
Okay. All right. Well, did you have a good New Year? Well, anyways, let's look at who's here. Let's see real quick who's in the chat. We got Cap Hits. What's up? Coopy New Year. There we go. Happy New Year to Wilson. How you doing, Django? Coop. Happy New Year, everybody. Geek and Mel. There we go. This year, my resolution is to develop a heroin addiction and become a degenerate gambler.
Well, I thought we already were those. Yeah. how have you? Yeah, how have you been able to make it through the crypto bear market without being that?
I know, like at least like some opioid addiction, like just like Vicodin maybe or something. Everyone liked the video. Let's get the algorithm to pump it up. Let's do that. So, okay, first of all, you had a good day yesterday.
Yeah, we had some fun. We went over to new friend's house. They made us steaks, so I didn't have to cook anything. I just got to enjoy some good food. And my son met another little kid and some dogs and was having fun. And we didn't stay, obviously, all the way until midnight. We came back because he has to go to sleep early, so we didn't get to have too much fun. But, we did get to see some fireworks and everything. Cool. It saw almost, it's funny, the meme of, the one with the guy standing in the corner and like, everybody else is dancing, having a party.
Yeah.
Someone in the Algorand community, I think it was like Rido.algo or someone made that meme, and it was like, these people don't know I'm juicing right now. And I was like, that literally felt like me being at this party. I'm like, I'm the one here, like literally trying to talk to, just try to have like regular conversations. And I'm over here like, oh man, it looks like we're breaking Algorand. And they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like,
you don't know what that is. So wait, these are new friends? You're still making new friends for you?
Right. Yeah. My wife, her job lets her meet lots of new people. I, on the other hand, only meet people if they come vacation. So.
Right.
And then they leave me.
And then they leave you. Where you're in Tampa? Is that a Tampa area?
Yeah, close to Tampa.
Cool, man. I know we're getting these big waves. We had an earthquake this morning.
Japan had an earthquake too.
I know, they had a bigger one, but it wasn't nothing. It was over 4 here.
Yeah.
With the waves and the earthquakes, it's kind of like what a way to start the year. But
how close are you to like the ocean front and whatnot?
Well, I'm not that far. I have to drive probably well, like in LA, the mileage is not that long. It sounds like you're so close, but really just because of the traffic, it could take you anywhere between 25 minutes to an hour and a half. So I'm about a half hour from the beach. So yeah, I'm not like walking distance to the beach.
Yeah, yeah. See, that's the difference with us. If we had a crazy tsunami warning, we'd have to get the hell out of here
Oh
because
yeah.
we're on the beach. We're literally on an island. And
Yeah,
St. Pete's pretty much already underwater.
oh, is it? Yeah, right. Yeah, yesterday I had a buddy come over and he was gonna go to a party nearby. And I was with the kids last night because my wife had to work. And he came over and then we kind of partied. Then he left and it didn't like go the way he wanted. So then he came back and it's a good buddy that actually comes and hangs out with you and your kids. It was kind of fun, And so I let my hair down and then Sarah got back and then we just stayed up until like 4:30 in the morning, like just so irresponsibly.
Wow.
Yeah. I was like, I can't believe I can't believe I have to do a show tomorrow. What a bad decision to stay up. I mean, we're hanging out.
I think I was
a hat on.
I think I was up till midnight. I think it was like 1 a.m. because people on the beach fire fireworks off like all the time. Like we had people running up and down the halls of our place, just like with kazoos and stuff. And Luca woke up at midnight, so we had to go get him back to sleep. So we were up kind of late, and then obviously we were up super early because he's like, "Hey, sun's up, I'm up, time to go get coffee."
Well, the good thing is about letting your kids stay up irresponsibly late is that they really slept in. Like my two oldest children were still asleep when I walked, and it's almost 11. Well, it is 11 o'clock over here. And my son, which was a miracle because it was on me this morning to get up, slept in until like 9:30. So I got to do it. So did you juice? Did you juice last night?
I tried. So one, like I said, we were out. So I had my juicer set up. I was ready. I was like, oh man, I'm ready to come back to like, I don't even know how many, oranges, at least 4, I was hoping in my wallet. And then, obviously I was there. They had really horrible, internet reception. So I was trying to check on my phone and I saw some people saying like that their juicers were messing up. So I was like, shoot, I bet mine's not even doing anything because I wasn't seeing any oranges come into my wallet. So I was like,
where's the oranges?
Yeah, but then I started seeing all the messages of people like can't do DeFi transactions, can't do para transactions, and can't send, can't stake. I was like, dang, did we just bring down the Algorand with a meme? But obviously didn't do that. But a lot of the wallet stuff. So got back home, my juicer wasn't working. My juicer still is not really working.
Probably better for you that it didn't work though. By the way.
Exactly. I only spent like 13 algo. It was because I thought everybody was just going to be kind of starting at like a low amount and just let it run for a while. But it seems like there was a lot of people who were ready to like just juice. I mean, they were like cramming the oranges, the algo in that sink. They turned on the garbage disposal.
Yeah. I was like, I got impatient. I was like, all right, I'm going to participate in the juicing, and I just like set it high, and then all of a sudden I burned like 90 algo, and I still didn't have an orange. And I was like, well, what am I doing? And then I didn't realize you could stop it and come back and leave off where you. So I did that, and like literally like 2 algo later, I got my orange.
I swapped. I swapped for 1 orange. I think I have 1.13 oranges. So goal is to get to 4 at some point. So I'm hoping that it gets easier, right? The effort for it gets easier, and I can just set it and then make 4, and maybe that's all I'll get. Who knows?
Well, that's good news for Aura that I think all of us sort of want to have 4. So there is some buying pressure up to that point. I think a lot of us will be like, that's a symbolic thing, obviously.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, this is like, it's something, I don't even know where the idea for this guy really came from. I didn't really know the Twitter handle of the guy who was creating it before the whole thing kind of started. So I don't know. It should be, it's kind of cool to see Algorand at the top of the TPS. So I know there was a lot of people frustrated with, all the transactions and stuff being slow for wallets. But at the end of the day, it's like, a lot of people in the Algorand community are every day on Twitter, like, Algorand's, we can do way more than that. We can do 100K TPS or all this stuff. It's like, but then look what happens when the volume came through. And this wasn't even the highest, TPS, that I've seen if you look at all time. But obviously, it seems like from what some people were saying that, well, if they're expecting the TPS to be high, then these, DeFi, para, and whatnot can actually maybe put more money towards their nodes and stuff to actually make sure it's ready. So it's at least good to see, stuff like
Yeah,
this from the community.
for sure. And I mean, so what was the issue? The issues were just basically these wallets like Para and DeFi and their server, like their servers, and the fact that they got overwhelmed. I mean, the issues we saw were that it wasn't the blockchain struggling; it was these, you know.
No, yeah, Algorand kept producing blocks. It never halted, producing a block or anything like that. It was all just endpoints and nodes, I think, that they were pointing to maybe. So yeah, kind of like what Geek says, infrastructure, not the blockchain. So that's kind of
Yeah.
the, where it's at. But, like I say, that's great because we're literally number one on, as far as TPS, and Algorand's having no issues. And it's real transactions. Like you see Hedera up there.
Yeah.
Most of that, I mean, I don't know that many people who are actually like transacting on Hedera. I'm sure a lot of it's messages. Solana, a lot of it's messages, and a lot of it's still. I've seen plenty of threads saying a lot of the volume, especially DEX volume and stuff that they're passing Ethereum with, is manipulated. So it's kind of cool to see it that there was nothing manipulated about that. It was literally all the community just showing that, hey, you could set you can create an application. Everybody can set how much Algorand they want to send every minute, and boom, and the chain handled it without a hiccup.
That's right. What is Hedera? Hedera, for a long time, Algorand, obviously we had Planet Watch that was putting a consistent amount of transactions on chain. I think Hedera has like coupons.
Yeah, I literally have no idea what the heck Hedera is doing. Like it's a closed system to an extent because all the validators, I mean, they're big companies, Google, T-Mobile, Boeing, all those guys. So, they definitely will probably do something, especially with the partnerships this year with Kia and I don't know, all the other
what was that with Kia? Was that
it was like the monitoring all of their, like, I think that just the logistics of all their carbon credits probably, or something like that. I don't know. It's just, who the fuck knows?
Yeah. All that ever happens in blockchain these days is like, oh, it's something to do with carbon credits. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. I literally had guys asking me yesterday, at the party, and just trying to understand, what I know about crypto. Obviously just the easy questions like, all right, what 3 coins should I buy?
At least they're asking. They're not telling you.
But it's funny because like the second they ask it's like they want to know, and they ask so what does this really mean? And then you start to describe it, and they're just like 2 seconds in, they're like, yeah, I don't give a shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah.
Our feet on. Every time somebody does ask for me to kind of explain, all of a sudden, like, people will ask me like, why does Bitcoin have any value? Right. They just think it's vaporware. And that's a little easier to explain. But then it's just like, it gets exhausting when you start to try to explain these other things. And it's just like,
I just keep telling everybody, hey, your currency's probably going to collapse at some point in the near future. You're probably going to, everything's going to crumble. And our only hope is that in the near future, when it gets rebuilt, our coins, our Doge, our Toshi, our Algo means something,
I hope so. I mean, I think the issue is that I don't think anybody really believes that the U.S. dollar is going to collapse. I think that's the real issue. Is people think that.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's not going to collapse. I just feel like it maybe. We've had. I don't know if you've ever talked to him, but we've had what's his name, Mark Yusko on from Morgan Creek Capital on our show a few times. He obviously doesn't think that the dollar is going to collapse, because you got to think the dollar's backed by the U.S. government, our army. Like, as long as we have an ability to impose fear on the world and have a backbone there, I don't think it's ever going to just completely collapse. I think the bigger fear is like, will it continue to be the reserve currency? Is that going to keep its status? Because if that, if there's another currency that takes over, obviously the dollar will still be used. It just might not have as much power as whatever currency, Bitcoin, the pound, the euro, whatever it could be. I mean, China's the yen. Who knows? That's I think the bigger fear that most people have.
Well, and we're seeing that dominance. Actually, they are making sure to. A lot of countries are like, wait, why do we need the U.S. dollar as our middleman? And obviously, blockchain technology disrupts middlemen in general. So there's different ways. Like you're saying, it's not going to collapse, but it is losing a bit of its reserve status in a lot of different ways. And much to the joy of China, Russia, and certain other countries that
Yeah.
like oil.
What are you most excited about for 2024? You
Oh my
got
God.
any like big,
Yeah,
bombshells to
feeling,
drop?
the first thing that I'm excited about is not feeling like this tomorrow. So I'm excited for tomorrow, so I won't feel like this. What am I excited about? Well, wait. What am I excited about in 2024? I think that we're going to have a exciting beginning. We're clearly
Yeah.
going to have an exciting beginning because of what's going on with these ETFs. So I think that there's rumors that they're going to. You know what I just noticed is that you're wearing a Florida hat and I'm wearing a Golden State hat. Look at us. We're
I
like
know, right?
representing. Yeah, that's good.
I know.
Um,
I got this hat new, and I used to wear the Mingo hat. Still got it. So Mingos, don't hate on me. But
yeah,
I just
this was a Christmas gift as well. I've never worn this hat before. It's good.
but it's funny you say that. Beginning of the year could be super exciting. Normally my tweets get obviously tons and tons of interactions because I'm like one of the best influencers out there. But one of my recent posts got literally nothing, and I was actually pretty proud of it because I actually like drew a circle on a chart and an arrow pointing where we're going,
Oh,
and
right.
nobody interacted with it at all. It's literally
Okay.
taking me forever to even scroll and go find it. But I
Okay,
was
let's go
showing,
find it. Should we go find it? Hold on.
yeah,
Let's.
it's like 22 hours ago. So it talks about the total two on the weekly. So we're talking about all of crypto outside of Bitcoin and Ethereum. So, obviously XRP, Binance, those are included in it. What's going on, Ice Age Trails? Happy New Year to you as well. We're about to pull up
Let's see if
one
it
of
goes.
my personal favorite tweets that I'm
Oh,
curious on.
us. Look at this.
Right?
Sharing the stream. Two dudes in a corner. All right, hold on. Let's go. Let's go over here. All right, everybody can see this, right?
Yeah.
This is Crypto for Change's Twitter profile. Make sure you're following him. He's the co-host of the Next Block. What days do you guys do the Next Block, and at what time? Do you have a regular time, right?
We normally do, like, if it's a live show, it's going to be Thursday at 1. And even if we like next week, we actually have Travelex Juan Pablo.
Oh,
We'll be pre-recording. I don't think it's gonna be live, but we'll be pre-recording an episode with him, and then we'll be dropping our live on or that episode at 1 p.m. But normally it's Thursdays at 1.
gotcha. Algorand started this year with 2,000 TPS sustained for hours. It is now 16 hours into the juicing, and Algorand is still on top. Algorand can't stop.
Nice to see.
It is.
I
Nice
like
to
the
see.
max record TPS 54. That's nice to see that was, and I think that was just done too.
Yeah, was it just done?
I want to say so. I saw someone make a tweet last night with that as the real time TPS, but I don't know. Maybe they had to get it like at the perfect time.
That's fun.
That was.
I like that. Happy New Year. Woke up to this. MJ is happy too.
And even with the kind of coming back down, we're still like above Hedera for most part. Sometimes even back above Solana. So it's good to see. Good to see.
How do we get? How many algo does it cost to juice an orange? My main issue with the juice and the orange is that we're juicing oranges. We should be orange juices.
Right now, it shows the recent effort for Aura was 41.46 algo. So that's what we're at currently.
Okay, that's not too high.
No, it's like half from what it was last night. Last night it was like 90 something. So
yeah, no, it was. And that's what
it should be. It should be right after the really juiced orange, like shredded orange guy. Like there's a picture of a.
Okay, let's look at this too real quick. Gary Maloof, the CTO of Algorand Technologies, appreciate the effort and the thoughtfulness the community put in this week around pushing mainnet TPS. The chain itself is doing great, and I'd argue any of the app UIs that struggled briefly were likely just under-provisioned, saving money for months, years when beefier hardware was unnecessary. Fun times. Barb is a tech noob. Obviously, it's not going to keep this pace of juicing, but it will obviously continue at a slower rate. These apps companies are going to have to spend more money to avoid issues going forward now, right? I think the financial models need to make sense for everyone to spend that money. Should be fun to see it develop. Yeah, I was wondering. I was like, if this juicing thing continues indefinitely, are we going to, are these servers, these wallets, are they going to be able to handle it?
I think that's the whole, I think it's one of the reasons why it's smart to like go ahead and, test these things out, just because if people do believe that big companies like FIFA or, you want the giants, the giant companies that are out there, Apple and, Uber and stuff, to actually build on Algorand, like, everything's got to be ready. But I think it's smart to make sure that your business, if you're a para, if you're a DFly, is ready for any type of volume, because you don't want to give a crappy UI to someone maybe who just downloaded your wallet and they're having issues just because the network gets busy. Like that's no bueno.
Here he is right here. There's the man. This is the man, the legend. He's holding some oranges.
That could be a crazy iconic picture one day. He should have minted it as an NFT.
He should mint it as an NFT. This could be, and look, he's holding, or there's a what's her face is holding a fat cat. All right.
Yeah.
Let's see. Where are we going? Let's go.
You're close to it.
I'm here. Like, massive success.
Not that one.
Now confidently pumping over 1,800 TP. Before you retweeted my thank you. That was nice of you. Also, then you retweeted that we're doing this. And then, is this where you?
It's like 2 more. We're almost there. I know, right? No one liked this one. Yeah, that was pretty funny, but it's right after it.
All right. Okay, here's your very popular.
Here we go. My tweet that I didn't do the right hashtag. I don't know what the fuck happened. I don't know.
Let's look. When looking at the total two,
which is everything outside of Bitcoin and Ethereum, just for you people who don't know.
Okay. On the weekly time frame, we may have an interesting setup that could play out with the MA ribbon. The next few weeks will determine how big, moving average ribbon. The next few weeks will determine how big 2024 could be. Hopefully, bull run 2024, loading for altcoins. So
if you look at it right there, where I got it circled on the left, that's the prior one, right before the big run up that we saw, and you just see the convergence of all those, all those bands right before the bull run kicks off, and we see we see it flip right from being the red on the bottom to the red or whatnot there, just with them coming through. And if you go to the next one,
oh shit,
everything's about to come together. So what's going to happen? And I can't imagine, right? I mean, here's one theory that I've had of we don't get a massive alt season and it's just Bitcoin, is what if Bitcoin's ETF gets approved, it rockets and just sucks all the liquidity because people want to chase Bitcoin. And we don't really see an alt season until maybe the halvening or closer to that. But I don't know. The setup looks like it could definitely, flip bullish right here to start the year. And if so, I mean, we could be looking at I would say at least over 1 trillion. And maybe, obviously, I would love to see like a 3 trillion total to, trying to crush some new all-time highs. That would be fun. We'd all be rich.
That would be very fun. But so what do you, I mean, this obviously is intriguing. Now there is your first scenario also is potentially obvious. There's a non-zero chance that this does suck a bunch of liquidity and they approve the Bitcoin spot ETFs. And then, then they really go after certain things. We obviously I think we know that FTX still has like a ton of these coins ready to dump, and it feels like they've been artificially pumping this. But I don't know. Are we about to get our faces melted off and this insane? What's the time frame on this? What are we looking at?
I would definitely say, it would be by March. Like, I think you would see a top by March for alts, right? I think you could still, and the thing is, you could still see Bitcoin cruising to new all-time highs. I don't know if that would happen. I don't think it would happen. I think Bitcoin would maybe get stalled out around in the 50 to 60K range somewhere. But I still think you could then see alts, and especially Ethereum. It hasn't even truly ran, maybe getting back to new all-time highs. It really just depends. I mean, there's so many narratives yet to really still play out, but I'm still bullish. I think it's kind of dumb to be bearish right now until we have a reason to be. And like I say, unless, we see a COVID, shutdown, World War III, I don't know, something crazy, black swan event that no one could call, I don't see any reason any reason to be bearish on Bitcoin and crypto assets.
Yeah. Well,
that's my thesis.
Especially with like headlines like this. Let's go to CNBC real quick, because I think that the headline is like Bitcoin could go up to 500,000 a coin in 2024 was like the main article I saw. Hold on.
Yeah. And that like, they're putting out, the Dos Equis guy doing commercials. They got commercials coming out left and right. So they're trying to suck the liquidity in and get people in. But you also got to realize that that's also that's when they're dumping. So we have to be ready for, even if the halving and everything is right now, that after the halving, maybe there is a bigger run, but maybe there's not. You might get the run before it.
Yeah. I mean, these are the boldest Bitcoin predictions for 2024. One calls for 1,000% rally to 500,000. Let's see what they're saying. Industry executives have called the start of a new bull run mainly predicated on two things: the Bitcoin halving and the potential approval of a Bitcoin ETF, spot ETF. 2023 was marked by the conclusion of criminal probes against FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried, as well as Binance and his founder, Changpeng Zhao. Oh, and by the way, we saw recently, didn't the government over the weekend or late last week, what did they do? They dropped all his campaign finance crimes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's still going away for life, but
I don't think so.
I don't know.
Think so?
We'll see. He should.
I think I'm just like far too skeptical of things these days. I'm like, this guy's gonna get no more than 10 years. No more.
I mean, maybe that's the case, and he goes into jail, and then he gets murdered, and then then we get a guy with slick back man bun that comes out to create a new exchange called Bankman Sand. I don't know.
He's not going to get killed. What? Nobody hates him.
No, I said killed with quotations.
Oh, I didn't see the quotes.
Yeah.
Okay. Bitcoin had a huge rally in 2023 with the digital currency up 152%. After hitting a record high in 2021, Bitcoin had a rough 2022. Oh, we know. In 2023, its founder, Sam Bankman-Fried, was found guilty of all 7 criminal counts. Also in 2023, CZ pled guilty. Now that those 2 high-profile cases are out of the way, many cryptocurrency executives see it as a chance to move forward and draw a line under the bad behavior of 2 of the industry's poster children. With fervor returning to the crypto markets, industry executives are calling the start of a new bull run. Let's move forward. Where are we at? Mark Mobius is calling. In 2022, Mark Mobius correctly forecast Bitcoin would drop to 20 when it was trading above 28. He had a price call of 10,000 thereafter, which he stuck to in 2023. However, that did not materialize. So he was bearish, and now he's calling for 60,000 by the end of the year. He says no rationale for that prediction, except it looks likely that there's heightened interest. Bitmining says 75,000. We're not going to read all this. CoinShares says 80,000. Nexo says 100,000. Standard Chartered, a lady named Carol.
Carol's spot on.
Carol's figured this out. Coin Fund, venture capital Coin Fund. I mean, no wonder they're bullish. Matrix Port, heard of that. Let's see. Who's Carol? Oh, sweet Auntie Carol. Sweet Carol in 2022, University of Sussex professor Carol. She predicted Bitcoin would slip to 10,000. It fell to 15. All right. She said it will rally as high as 50. She thinks the 40 to 55,000 range. No, Carol says 100. Anyways, so I guess my point is of showing this. Sorry, I have company as I get lost in these articles right now. New FAFSA launches. My point is that this is the head article at CNBC on January 1st.
Yeah. So everybody, when I mention to people that I host a podcast that talks blockchain and crypto, the general populace is immediately interested. Like, they're definitely not, I think we're far enough past the Sam Bankman-Fried FTX collapse, and people are, at least interested to know, like, hey, should I be buying this? But I don't think we're to the point like we were in 2021 where people were actually buying. Like, most people I talk to, they're like, oh, that's cool, but I'm not going to put my money there. And I feel like that's where, that's why we're not seeing the major run-ups, yet that we're all hoping to see, because we won't see that until FOMO retail actually comes in, and FOMO, and people are just buying, stuff left and right without even really doing any research.
Well, and then there's also this idea that pretty soon it's going to be very easy to buy essentially, Bitcoin exposure with the spot ETFs. And then people aren't going to even be thinking about how many Satoshis they're getting. They're going to be thinking of how many shares of BlackRock's Bitcoin spot ETF they're getting. So if it's a $50 share or whatever, I don't know how much they're going to be, but let's say it's 25, $50, then they're just thinking, oh, I've got 100 shares of Bitcoin, which is ridiculous on so many levels. But when people kind of detach and are just buying that, and then the price could really increase as people just sort of buy it. And then what happens is they try to like outlaw self custody and all that stuff too. So, I have a feeling that 2024 is going to be big, but the cool thing possibly is that it's an election year. And I don't actually think that an anti-crypto army is a winning political stance. So I bet we do see a bit of them, Gary Gensler and everybody, not want to go against it. It's not the boogeyman. It's not the effective boogeyman that I think they thought it was going to be.
Yeah, no, I would definitely agree as well. I think, that's why it's so interesting, because I feel like, especially with the bear market the past 2 years, I feel like we're all pretty jaded at this point to like not trust any pump and like just waiting for the, massive dump to come on the other side. And so it's like you have all this bullish news with the ETF, the halving, the presidential election, just the overall, fact that people are, starting to put, the dollars falling down, risk on assets are moving up. So you have all these things, but you're wondering like, that's a whole year's worth of catalyst, but is it gonna, is it just gonna come in waves where Bitcoin runs to, 50K and then, at the ETF approval and then falls back down to 30K, and then at the halving runs to 100K and then falls back down to 60K, and then at the election runs even higher? Or is it just going to be a steady climb? That's the part of the market that's going to be fun to try to play around with.
They talk about the market going down. Did you see what happened to this teller?
I did. Yeah, TRB. It like ran from like 100 and something to like 600 and something, and then collapsed to like 20. I think I saw.
I mean, look at this. This is the 7-day. So it was at what?
And that's a Oracle, I'm pretty sure, kind of like Chainlink, but it's what is that on a chain specific, or is that just kind of like for any chain to use?
Probably Ethereum, right?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah. So I have no idea what happened with that one.
Yeah, look at that. They
rest in peace to anybody who bought at 600.
I know, right? Like right here. Oh man, it's happening, guys. It's happening at 450. Holy shit, we're rich. Oh my God, this is going to go up forever. And then it just comes. I mean, what a rug.
Could you imagine that's Algo? Algo runs from like where we're at now to like $5, and we're all just high fiving, and then we're back at 10 cents.
Isn't that what happened to us last time? No, but I mean, honestly though, does Teller, TRB, is DWF? Are those guys involved with that? Because we should be careful. We should be careful if we do see, and this is we're in the new year. Like we're all bullish. We're all excited. We all had our big juicing event. We all got juiced. And, but if Algo does go on some parabolic, stupid rise over $1, you should definitely be taking some off the table and locking in some profits this time. Folks.
Yeah. And the good thing is, like, if you're like, I feel like my biggest thing last time with taking profits was the FOMO that you get from, once you sell, like, oh shoot, what if I miss out on gains of it continuing to run? I feel like the best thing you can do is go ahead and have an idea of like, hey, if I take, say, it runs crazy and I want to take some profit, go ahead and have a steady place where you can park the money and still be able to claim or earn daily. Like imagine if it pops off, you got 10K, 20K in profit, you take 10,000, you put 5,000 of USDC and 5,000 of the euro in a stable coin, APY earning you, I don't know, 10, 15, 20%. Boom. You're still gonna be earning daily. That's money on the table. Or a Lofty AI, real estate, something that's more steady. Have something, in mind that you can actually roll those funds into, so you're not feeling too much of that FOMO of like, oh, I'm just sitting in the dollar watching everything run. At least you can be making some money with those profits. But if you don't have a plan, you're definitely.
Are you getting this exposure to euros? Are you taking advantage of these opportunities on Algorand?
We've done it. I've done it personally a little bit, and also with the show, with some of the funds we have there. Right now, we're mostly in, algo and other assets because we think it's a good time to, have that risk. But
Yeah.
we've definitely at times been in some of the liquidity pools on, I think, Pact and
Mhm.
also on Tiny Man, just to kind of earn those fees, because it's like, they're paying in the bull market. Your stable coin pairs are going to, yields are usually going to be higher because everybody's in risk assets. So it's a perfect time to, if you have that extra change, park it there, earn, at one point, I think we were earning like $5 a day, and it wasn't even a lot of money. So,
Yeah.
definitely, give it a try.
So what happened? So it's just you and Seawill now. So what went on with JT just went on to do it was like, yeah,
I fired him.
you
I
fired.
said,
You're like,
I
I don't want
said,
to
get the fuck out of here. No, I'm kidding. Nothing but love to JT.
your shirts all the way to the top. Like, we got to get rid of this. Is that what
No,
happened?
I think he had a lot going on in his own life, I think. And he just kind of wanted, with school, he's crazy. He lives in a cold area of the world and goes to school. And I can't imagine doing that. So I think he just kind of wanted to take his own step and, get back to creating his own stuff. And we said, all right, see ya.
Well, yeah, I mean, at some point, like you get the opportunity to create your. If he's busy, he's like, well, look, I should just focus on the things that I want to talk about and be able to do my schedule when I want to do it, type of thing. That makes sense.
Yeah.
How is it going without him? Do you? I mean, is it you guys? It's just you just left off where it's fine, right? It's you and
I mean,
Seawill.
to be honest, you look all the way back to how we started. It started as Pardon the Crypto with just me and Seawill. So, that was, it was for the longest time, it was just me and him. And honestly, both of our schedules, even though, especially with him in Hawaii right now, we're like so many hours apart. It works out really well because we're both super flexible. I'm a stay-at-home dad and obviously just do this and crypto. And he's got a job, but it's pretty flexible as well. So for us, it works out really good because if we need to pre-record a show like next week with Travel X, it's just easy, just bouncing it off each other instead of having that third person. So it has its benefits as well as, obviously we still miss JT and, I liked his insight. He was good at charting, way better than I am. Like he could do more than just draw a circle and say, hey, maybe. he always seemed to have a little bit more maybe meat.
Yeah, he does. He has some good. He does have good calls, but
Yeah.
in the end, circling and saying maybe is probably the most accurate that you really can be.
Yeah, especially with hopefully not having somebody get mad at me if we're wrong. Which
Yeah, you don't want to be. Yeah, you always want to obviously let everybody know.
Literally every time I bought algo, I'm pretty sure it's like dumped at least a solid 6 to 8% in the next 24 hours. So
It's an emotional thing that happens. It's very odd that when you finally, I think it's because we just are a group. Like we're all connected to each other. Like it's so true. It's like we all FOMO at the same damn time. And then
Yeah.
the market makers know this. They know the psychology that's behind this, and they can feel it in the chart where they're like, okay, these idiots are buying now, or they can see it with the volume.
Yeah. I think it's the algorithms that we are so, that our Twitter feeds or X feeds put in front of us. I mean, that's the reason why you start seeing everybody bullish charts, everybody buying, showing their buys. And that's why like one of the smartest things I've heard and I've seen is like, if your chart is, if you're about to post on social media, if it's good enough to make a post about it, it's good enough to take some profit.
Yeah, there you go.
It's a good idea.
Okay, we lost Algo Explorer today, right? I haven't even looked, but I'm sure that that's down now because that's what they said they were going to do. Now, do you have any insight on the ramifications of losing that service?
Absolutely not.
Well, I know
to me, it's like
I know that they the Juice Master, Greg, he had asked them to redirect some stuff in order to make it easier for all of the exchanges and all of the dexes and everything to continue to have everything go according to smoothly. According to smoothly, I'm doing great, man. But according to smoothly. But I guess they refuse to do that. I don't really care to talk too much about them unless you want to, but
I feel like John Wood summed it up with saying that, hey, I think they've already kind of reached out because obviously they knew Allo or AO or however you say it was going to be like dropping the news on the day that they tried to throw FUD out and say, oh, we got no money. And so like they were already ready. So I'm sure they've already sent all the notifications to Coinbase, to the big exchanges, to all the people who maybe need to get the data that they need to get, say, hey, this is going to be sunsetting. Here's what we're going to have rolling out right after, or here are other resources you can use with Algo Node or whatever it may be. So, just knowing that I'm not super nerdy on that side of it, I don't really, I mean, even when I think we were actually doing a live show, me and Seawill, when that news was dropping, and it was kind of just funny seeing the post. I was like, oh man, that sucks. And then I read Stacy's post and John Wood's post. I'm like, all right, cool. That's keep moving. That's the way a bull market is. It's different. It's the FUD just hits different in a bull market than a bear market.
Absolutely. And I think that you see their responses, you see the response of the community. We're just going to keep on moving. And whatever the facts are behind what happened last year with mALGO and Algo Explorer and Rand Labs and the long history that they have with Algorand and stuff like that, in the end, it's over. They've said that they're leaving Algorand. I don't know how that really plays in for C3 protocol. I bet you C3 protocol is basically DOA anyways. They're being sued by Borderless Capital. Like, I'm sure Borderless Capital was one of the main VCs behind C3. So you would think
I'm actually interested that, I signed up for their like early testnet thing or whatever. I never got in, even though I signed up for it. And I've reached out to that team a couple times to see about getting them on the next block. And they've never responded to me. So, I mean, at this point, I'm not probably going to touch their product. I mean, I know that it could be very bullish for liquidity, and not having siloed liquidity on one chain and on another chain and just trying to create this, better solution. But at the end of the day, it's like, I don't trust what they built before, especially with the things and just who they're kind of attached to. And that's that's kind of the whole gist of a lot of the space too, is in the bull market, like just like in the last bull market, we saw so many things that looked good. They almost, most things checked out, not many red flags, they can still go down. And even things that you would think won't go down. No one thought AlgoFi would go down, and it's down. So you really do just got to be careful chasing a lot of these pumps and chasing a lot of the hype, because at the end of the day, we don't really know what, what they're going to do, especially if they got a token and that's how they're driving liquidity. Cause it's kind of like you look at, Terra Luna or FTX. It's like these things are just creating money literally out of thin air. And then you're just trusting, steady lads deploying more capital.
By the way, I was ringing the bell on AlgoFi before they left. I definitely was worried about them. I felt like they were their loyalty, or their commitment is a better word. Their commitment to Algorand had been waning for a while, and it's also hard for them. And to be fair for those guys, is that they're fully doxxed, living in New York City, and worked. Former employees at Citadel, it's not like they're not connected to the mainstream world. And if it got dicey and, they're running a bank, without any regulations as the government might see it, the risk became probably too great for them. And that's why
they probably shouldn't have named their token bank. That was probably the, not a
well, it was idea. Algo Bank, wasn't it called Algo Bank to begin with?
Maybe I don't even know. There is an interesting, I want to highlight Fracas. He put a comment in the thread here. He said, we stopped using Algo Explorer API over a year ago when we realized it was unreliable. We used Algo Node since. And I think it's also like in a, decentralized area that, blockchain is supposed to be, right? Like the chain itself, like you have a lot of these businesses that are building on it. And to them, it's like, if you're, when something goes down, if you were trusting that thing and you didn't see the writing on the walls and it just goes down and you're kind of SOL, well, to me, it's like as a business, you should have done better due diligence to make sure that your product could continue to run. I mean, it's like Amazon making sure that their servers, stay online. Like they're going to make sure that they don't have any issues. And I think that's the way any business on Algorand should be, or on any chain should be focused on, is making sure that your infrastructure is there and can handle anything that gets thrown at it, which is also why I like the juicing thing. Cause I think it kind of shows, hey, Algorand's great. It didn't go down infrastructure wise. Still need to, if we're ever going to reach that TPS and that load, we still have some things we got to, work on and fix.
Yeah. What was I going to say? I was about Algo Explorer. Anyways, I there you go. So Fracas just said that, we're moving on. They've moved on. They moved on over a year ago. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Is that I think it might have been John Woods or somebody that I read basically talking about like the Algo Explorer code was just so like patchwork and just so many just like superficial fixes, and it was just a mess. And I imagine that my algo looked similarly messy. And so who knows what those guys are doing? Let's look at prices. You want to look at some prices?
Let's do it.
Let's do
Although
it.
some of mine are sadly, I should have took some profits on some runners I had and to end out the year, but I didn't.
Oh yeah,
And they're kind of coming back down, so I'm back to buying the dip.
Oh shoot! What are you talking about? Which ones were running for you?
Well, so one, I'm banking on base, right? Layer 2 Ethereum. I know, you can maybe get some boos from the crowd here, but I just can't see a world where Coinbase is successful. Brian Armstrong is successful and Coinbase's base doesn't succeed, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm definitely like, I'm watching that platform and what gets built there, and I'm buying some meme coins over there, just like I got meme coins on Algorand. I'm buying some Dex's tokens over there,
All right.
just like and so one of the ones actually I didn't know it was going to actually move from Polkadot to base is actually Moonwell. So that's a really low cap one, small cap. It was part of the Glimmer ecosystem, which Michael Arrington was big on and was trying to help build Moonbeam and whatnot over on Polkadot. But the other one is actually Aerodrome, which is kind of crossed with Velodrome. So Velodrome is on Optimism, Aerodrome is on Base.
Okay.
So those are two that they made some pretty good runs. I'm still up overall, but definitely coming back down a little bit with the market kind of trading sideways and down, waiting for the next big move.
Yeah, I think you're smart to be interested in the base ecosystem. I think that you said it exactly right. Like if Coinbase, which is clear, I mean, they're custodian for BlackRock and others for their Bitcoin spot ETF. There's a lot there. If these don't get approved, it's because the SEC is still not comfortable with Coinbase. But if they do get approved, it's kind of weird. They're suing Coinbase, but at the same time, they're approving them as a custodian for whatever, it doesn't matter. But I think you're right to be betting on that. And in the event, I mean, with these layer twos, they are also centralized anyways in so many different ways. So you might as well just be on base.
Yeah, have a little risk exposure there. I mean, and just think of like what happened to Binance and all the tokens on Binance when it really took off, in that bull run.
Look at what happened with Solana and AVAX, by the way, just recently.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, it is like if you hate fees and bridging and all that stuff, Coinbase is also making it super simple, and they're pushing people to base. Let me tell you how they're pushing people to use base, right? You buy Ethereum on Coinbase app, and I'm talking about a brand new person. I'm not talking about someone who's in this space for years and is trying to find, the gem. I'm just talking about a brand newbie who comes in, buys Ethereum, and Coinbase is going to immediately send them to base. When they try to send their Ethereum, it asks you which network you want to choose, right? It gives you Optimism, it gives you maybe Metis, it gives you Polygon, it obviously gives you the Ethereum network, and then it gives you base, and it says in a green parentheses beside base, cheapest option. What are most people going to choose to send their ETH on? Base, at least if you're a Coinbase user. So that's to me it's like it's a win-win, because I like Coinbase, I use it, and I know I see CoinGeek Coinbase is kind of gross. Obviously people have their each to their own, but I just feel like if Coinbase can do anything like Binance did as far as gathering that volume, and I believe once those spot Bitcoin ETFs get approved and they're handling a lot of that volume is going to change for Coinbase. I just don't see how Coinbase's layer 2 doesn't succeed to some extent, because it is cheap to swap and do things on base, Optimism, and whatnot. Outside of obviously doing anything on Ethereum's layer 1. Now I know you got all the issues with scaling and stuff, but I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about the pump and the gains, and they're coming.
There you go, man. I know. Well, I use Base for it's the easiest way, in my opinion, to get USDC onto Coinbase from Algorand. So, I mean, Base is a great tool for that for sure.
Yeah.
Thorchain is Thorchain something that's on your radar?
No, but right underneath it, render. I have a big old fat bag of render and quant actually. So there's, 3 of my holdings there: algo, render, and quant. Render just seems like it's got so many people, at least from the a lot of the big executives like Star Wars and Disney and Apple, and there's the narratives that could be spun, for rendering and all this augmented reality and all this stuff. So I definitely still holding my render bags, hoping that we see that thing run into the top 20, as the entire crypto market rises. So that's a big one I'm excited about.
When you can't be all that upset about quant at 140, I can't imagine you bought it much. I mean, it sat at 100 for forever. So I imagine you got in there at 100 or less.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, most of these I'm up. Like, even though the market's cooled off a little bit and we're seeing some pullbacks in prices. I mean, I think there's only like 2 or 3 coins that I'm still down on. I mean, at least with relative in the last 6 months, 8 months positions that have been started. Obviously, Algorand, it's going to be a while, but I'm still still holding out hope we get back above $1, and I'll easily be back in profit there from
Oh yeah.
where we were at.
Oh my God. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm sure if you're like me and you've made some good bets on the way down too.
Yeah.
So fear and greed is at 68, which we're still in greed, but it is calming down. What was I gonna? I was just gonna say something about up here. Oh, something that I did definitely say a while ago as Solana was pumping. I said something to look out for, and maybe we'll see. Get your take on this. Is I believe that Solana, AVAX, if we're going to have a cascade fall down, they're going to lead the charge. They'll be the first ones. They're gonna, because it's all the smart money has been pumping this. I think been pumping Solana, AVAX, and these things with the meme coins. It's their oldest. I mean, it's their move. Is that
Yeah.
once you start to see meme coin hysteria, this is a great way to draw retail money into these ecosystems. And then they use you as exit liquidity. And so the smart money seems very clearly in Solana and AVAX right now. And I was saying, and I thought, and I still think that if we start to see Solana and AVAX sustain going down, because every time it goes down, it's 10%. It does seem to stabilize. So I don't know. I just have a feeling that if there is a major crash, it's going to be led initially by, and then the rest of the market is going to follow very aggressively. So I don't know.
Yeah, I would, my thesis would be, the biggest movers obviously are, especially if it's outside of Bitcoin, a lot of times the biggest movers are also going to have some of the biggest pullbacks, after they run.
Yeah.
But, I think as long as Solana, I've not tried Avalanche. I did play around with some meme coins on Solana, and I do have a Phantom wallet. Obviously, Render is moving from Ethereum to Solana. So I do have a reason to maybe be bullish and want to see Solana still succeed. But I do think as long as Solana can stay online, not have any hiccups in 2024, I don't really see it, crashing or having this like cascade, Terra Luna, die and burn type scenario. Now, if it starts going offline, if there starts being a lot of issues, if there's, if some big bombshell thing comes out about, haunting from the grave of FTX and selling and, or something weird with manipulation, then yeah, you could see some, shady things pop up and happen, and I wouldn't be surprised. But that's also why I don't really hold any Solana or Avalanche. I just, I like the things I'm in. Even to answer El Crypto, he was in the chat, saying impossible not to love Thorchain. Man, I'm sure there is so many things out here that why not have a little bit of bag here and be excited about them. But the way I see it is in a bull market, if you're spread too thin, it's really hard to sell, and it's really hard to even pay attention because you got your eyes in so many spots. So I've already my portfolio is like already full, and I'm just adding to the positions I've currently got.
Look at this fucking Polka Gold. Jesus. What is
Yeah.
happening? It's number 3,
Yeah.
up
I
20%. What is
I
this thing?
don't know. We actually at the next block they asked us. They did. For full intensive purposes, they did give us a little bit of P Gold to create a video for them on just from their standpoints to show Polka Gold or people from the dot community how to buy P Gold on Algorand. So we created them a tutorial that will drop on our channel. But I
Oh,
you know I
oh,
I
okay.
didn't.
So you haven't done that video yet, but they reached out. Who's they? Who is the?
I don't know. I wasn't trying to press them too hard on doxing, because it's not like they were asking us to shill P Gold and tell people to buy it. And I would never tell, I'm not telling you to buy, P Gold or anything, but I don't know. I've actually talked to a few people in DMs about, like, some conspiracies on who I think it could be that's maybe involved in it, but I don't have anything like for sure. Could be
Yeah.
DFW.
Yeah, you think it's them? I was going to say, well, I have noticed, because I am in, and I think you are a little bit too. My algorithm does include Polkadot community members as well.
Yeah.
And I've definitely seen 2 accounts tweet about it. Wang is an account that is supportive of Algorand and Polkadot, and he tweeted about it. And then I think Market Mobster, which is a
Yeah, there are some big accounts, that are tweeting about it. To me, it's just like obviously, if you've been in the crypto, space for a year or more, like, there are a few red flags. Obviously, the number one glaring thing is, team is not doxed. So that's always, to me, a somewhat of a red flag. But to me, it's also interesting to see all this liquidity being locked for like 5, 10, or forever. And that's something that the Twitter account has obviously been talking a lot about. So that's interesting to see. It's like, how, does that prevent it from being a rug, or is there still a way to rug that I don't know about that, could still happen? So that's interesting, to say the least. But yeah, it's kind of sad, because they paid us for the video, and obviously, from all of our sponsors, most time, if we get a token that's not USDC, we just sell it. We shouldn't have done that, because it kept running.
Well, I know. Look at that volume, $200,000 the last 24 hours. Like, holy shnikes.
Yeah, and it went all the way up to like 40 something cents, fell back down to like 30 cents, and now it's back up to 40 something cents. So who knows? I mean, I honestly, like I say, I'm not giving financial advice to go buy it, but it's definitely one that's kind of come out of nowhere, and it's still holding steady. It's and doing well. So if you were in it early, I know there's a few people who I follow. Congrats. Make sure you're taking some profit here and there.
That's right. There is, what do we got? We got Vest. Opulus is down to 12 cents. What are your thoughts on Opulus?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I literally, obviously I don't like Lee, that's apparent, but good luck to him at Arbitrum. Hope it works out for you over there. I don't know. I mean, I literally don't know anything that they're doing with the Opulus token on Algorand. I don't even know if they are still doing anything with it, but hats off to anybody who's making money on it. I did make a lot of money on the bull run, didn't sell, and my Lil Pump Soulja Boy, song has not made me a millionaire, so that sucks. But outside of that, they always had a cool idea, and I loved the idea, but I just have no idea how all the things they're doing make people money, I guess, at the end of the day. So, I think it's a great token. I think Lee does a good job at having the market makers and whatnot pump the token, and it's had some good gains. So if you made money, congrats. But I'm not touching it. That's for sure.
You're done. Well, yeah, I mean, I think the official is that they're moving fully onto Arbitrum, but they're going to continue to support Opal markets on Algorand until they are fully deployed on Arbitrum.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's still one of the layer 2s as well, even though it's, I guess, one of the highest ones as far as like liquidity. Like, I've actually not used Arbitrum. So that's, I just don't have any exposure over there. I don't really know anything about that ecosystem. So that's another reason why I just wouldn't touch it. Maybe if they were moving to base, honestly, I'd probably be like, maybe I jump on that and grab a small little bag, but I'm just not a big Arbitrum, fan. My mom has 4 oranges. So
your mom's got how many oranges?
At least 4.
Okay, good. Coop Coin is doing all right, down 3%, but look at that, still $750,000, $750,000.
And you know what they say? If you sell your Coop, your mom's a hoe.
That's right. That's right. We should have made yourself bigger for that. All right. Well, so then your orange. Look at that rug. Just kidding.
I know. I got 1.13, so a little over $9.
Look at that. Look how
you get it at like 40.
I think I mined mine right about here. It was for the culture. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to. I wanted to I wanted to throw some algo at the initial buzz, and I did.
I'll be honest. If I was not at a party and I was at my computer, like when it actually started, I probably would have juiced like all of the algo I put in my wallet to get one at like a ridiculously thing. But the only thing that saved me was the fact that I had it set to go. It didn't do it, probably like started and then like had a glitch right at the start because everybody doing it. And then like I didn't try it until I got home at like 11 o'clock. And so at that point I was and mine kept saying I was out of funds. So my juicer kept messing up. So it kind of saved me.
Let's see. How many algo does it cost right now? You can get yourself a orange for 36 algo right now. It's a bargain.
Yeah. Right now, the recent effort is, let's see if everything updates here. Do I have to be logged in to see? No way.
I don't think you do.
For some reason, it's not.
It's orange.meme, right?
Yeah. It's not updating for me. I don't know what the recent effort per aura is, but not showing me.
It doesn't look like it's showing me either.
Maybe they're fixing some things.
Hot wallet. Oh, I would need to sign in, I guess.
Yeah, I signed in, didn't do anything for me. So,
all right. The juicers are preparing. Come back soon. We will. We'll come back.
Maybe they're fixing some things because mine was having all kinds of issues. Like every single time I hit start juicing, it's like give it like 15 seconds, and then it'd stop it and say out of funds, and I'd still have like plenty of algo sitting in there ready to juice. So.
Oh, by the way, another exciting show. You're the host of the next block, and there's another show called Algo Hour. I don't know if you've heard of it. Starring.
I have.
I've heard of it, right? Starring IRL and other familiar fun faces like Beluga and Ted and Yomo and all those guys that hang out. Joe Polney is a regular on that show. They had a fantasy football league that I participated in, and I won the championship last night.
Hey, nice.
I'm the Algo Hour fantasy football champion. I feel like I need.
Who was your best player throughout the season? Kept you going?
I had Christian McCaffrey.
Oh yeah.
And he actually dropped. Well, he didn't literally drop the ball, but he was not. He got hurt. He was out. I had not a great. Let's see. I'll tell you what I got. Let's look at it. Watch. I missed
while you're looking that up, the one time I ever won, the only time I've ever won any fantasy football league. It's funny. I was actually my team auto drafted. I was out playing tennis, and like this is years ago, like I think like 2016. But like I was out playing tennis, totally forgot about it. Came back to my phone, and was like, oh shoot, I forgot about my draft. Went and looked at my team. I drafted 4 players from the Denver Broncos, and the rest were just like random. Who knows? I literally can't remember, but. Here's the reason why I won, because that was the year that Peyton Manning went and played for the Broncos. And I had Peyton Manning, Sean Marino, Demaryius Thomas, and some other guy. And literally every week, those like 4 players like got me at least, I think I had their defense as well, but those 4 players got me at least 70 to 100 points, sometimes even more if Peyton went off. And like I didn't even need half the other guys on my team. I would win just because the Broncos just had a crazy year that year. So that was the only time I've ever won fantasy football.
Okay, so Jesse dropped the knowledge for us. It's 42A per aura. So right now, you're better off just buying one on Tiny Man.
Yeah.
And then we have Joe Polney in the chat, and he placed 7th. So, I'm sorry to hear. Sorry to hear, buddy. So I had Christian McCaffrey, who only got 13 points. Kamara only got me 6.9. But my big winner, my big good decision was I'm putting George Pickens out there, and he got me 20 points.
I'm a Steelers fan, so they've kind of, we kind of done good ever since we finally benched Mitch Trubisky.
I know.
He is a bitch. No, but yeah, we got rid of him and finally put Rudolph back in. So for the Christmas, obviously, it makes sense.
They've been better. Rudolph was pretty good when they lost Roethlisberger, right?
Yeah, he was decent, and then I don't know. I mean, maybe just in the training camp or just in the off season, maybe Mitch just showed better skills. But yeah, it's as a Steelers fan, it's been awful watching. Most of the season, it's just been literally nails on a chalkboard watching the offense do anything. So it's kind of fun to see that they're kind of pulled the end of the season together, and maybe they make the playoffs. I hope they don't, just because we don't need to. Like, there's nobody wants to see us there.
Yeah. So, by the way, my smart plays yesterday that really helped me were Zamir White, the Raiders backup, because Josh Jacobs was out, and then my match. Let's see, he just had a struggle. He just got a lot of bad. Like Devontae Smith got hurt,
Oh yeah, I saw that.
and then Tyler Lockett did nothing. So I appreciate everybody on his team that underperformed.
I'm guessing Joe Pony probably had Najee Harris as a running back and probably played him every week, thinking that he was going to do
Is
good.
he a Steelers fan?
I have no idea. I'm guessing if he had a horrible season, he probably had somebody on the Steelers.
Who we got? Let's see. The king of last place. That's funny. So, anyways, now I'm just kind of looking at this. But I beat Smokey McPotts, so I did it.
Oh, he's a Patriots fan. I should have known. He's up there in that cold temperature, and screw the Patriots, man. So many times the Steelers could have made it to the daggone Super Bowl if it wasn't for a stupid old Tom Brady ruining. And I don't care. I'm just going to say it that Jesse James caught the ball. He extended the ball over the goal line. It was a touchdown, and we should have moved on. Instead, the Patriots got it.
So it says, so Greg just in the comments, hey guys, aura juicing from the front end will pause.
Makes sense.
Why is it pausing?
Because you need to make sure that error stops giving me my juicer. I'm trying to juice. I can't juice.
They're fixing some stuff. Joe Fargo says that the Cowboys are winning the Super Bowl this season.
Okay.
I don't think so, Joe. I'm sorry. I don't want to hate on your favorite football team.
All right. Hold on. I got it.
I'm a huge 49ers fan, and I think that the 49ers will make it to the Super Bowl.
You're gonna like my theory.
But I do believe that the Ravens are going to be very difficult to beat.
So here's my theory, right? So recently, if you know me, if you follow me on Twitter, you obviously know that I believe that the NFL season is scripted to a T. Like they know who's going to go into the Super Bowl at the beginning of the season. Don't even at me. I'll show you so much that information that you can't even handle it, and it makes you want to cry and quit watching your favorite team because it's all a lie. Anyways, look at the recent five or six Super Bowl images, right? So when they put out what the image that they're gonna put on the shirts and everything looks like, the color scheme that they put out with that image has almost literally shown the two teams that actually end up being in the Super Bowl like that year. So if you look at this year's image, it's a mixture of a San Francisco, what looks like a San Francisco 49ers color and a purple Ravens color. So I think we get a rematch of the Harbaugh Bowl, obviously, except 49ers don't have Harbaugh. So I think you're easily going to get 49ers versus the Ravens. Hopefully the power doesn't go out in the building, during halftime or whatever that happened. So I think that's my tinfoil hat theory.
Oh my God, that game! Who was it? That game broke
Ray Lewis.
Heart. Oh, Michael Crabtree. He dropped something in the end zone or something.
Yeah. So that's my tinfoil hat. It's predictive programming. They're getting you ready for it. 49ers versus the Ravens. That's where my money's at right now. And who would win? I don't know. I want to say probably the 49ers would win. Who won it was the Ravens last time. Yeah.
I hope so. But I mean, I've got to say, I watched the 49ers get just owned by the Ravens on Christmas. And then what they just did to the Dolphins, which is their main probably competition over there in the AFC, it's worrisome. And Lamar Jackson looks the best I've ever. I mean, he's dropping dimes, and the guy can. I mean, Lamar Jackson looks better than I've ever seen him. And I don't really pay attention.
It'll be a fun game for sure. I definitely think that's what we're going to see for the Super Bowl. So my wife is not going to be happy again. She's been a Cowboys fan. She's never seen him, win a Super Bowl her entire life. So I don't know what that's like. It must suck, but
that must suck. Yeah. Wow. So she's young, because I remember those like Emmitt Smith, Troy Aikman teams. They were rough.
And then Jerry Jones, he signed the contract with the Devil and gave him Jerry World. And if you go to Dallas, you go to the Star. He owns everything, except he'll never own a ring. He'll never own one of those things. He signed it.
Oh, is that what happened?
He said I'll take 3 Super Bowls in 4 years and then you never have to give me another till I die. No, I have no idea.
Now he has to die in order for the Cowboys. Okay, so here we go. So the AlgoNode APIs cannot support the weight of this amount of transactions. Indexers will run out of space before they can upgrade. Okay, so we're having some. Okay, so he's doing what's best for the network. We had a pretty big drop in TPS, probably correlated to juicers being unavailable. I placed 7th as a Pats fan. Okay, I got most of my L's in the beginning because I drafted Cup. Oh yeah, I know. Well, what saved me, and did I have him in this league? I forget. But I think this is probably common in a lot of championship teams. Oh no, he's not even on this team. He's in the other league where I got second, which pissed me off. I got Travis Kelce, bitch ass. Sorry, Travis Kelce got 1.6 points, and Harrison Butker, the kicker for the Chiefs, got this person like 27 points. And so that I was in the game if I could have just gotten a normal Travis Kelce game, and then he had a normal kicker game, but it just didn't happen for me.
Yeah, it's probably the triple vax shot that got him. I mean,
yeah, it's like ever since he did those, Taylor Swift and all the vaccines, man, he can't catch. What happened? What happened to Travis?
I don't know. I mean, that's the other.
Travis
Taylor Swift. I think it was the curse of Swift.
It's got to be.
Yeah. Ever since, the second she stopped going to the games, I think it was when they started losing. And then obviously she came back, and I think they started winning some. But that was a whole, I don't even know what, like, the NFL is crazy with that whole thing. I don't know what the heck they're doing.
Really? It's got to be. You would think that Taylor Swift is a bit of a distraction because there isn't a lot of relationships that Travis Kelce could enter into that he's not the top dog in the relationship. Like, but you know what I mean? There's not many women out there in this world where he could feel inferior. And, he's got like this billionaire girlfriend that everybody, a lot of
she's probably already starting to write a song about him. So
I know.
I mean, how does that make you feel? He probably read her diary once and was like, fuck, no, damn it.
I gotta be nice to her. I got to get at least a positive song out there before I get the breakup song.
Yeah. That's very true.
All right. I'm getting here a bit late. It looks like there's an issue with the Aura website. Yeah. So they have paused the juicing. The juicing has been paused. Juicing continues through the CLI.
So I wonder if this makes the price of Aura go up. Does anything happen?
I don't know. What do we got? Should we look?
It's still down 69% is what it's showing me. So it's at $7. So no, it is not going back up. It did hit a low of like 5, but it's definitely not looking great.
Oh man. Well, I sacrificed that my 100 algo for the love of the game. The colors went viral. They wouldn't make it viral if it wasn't bait. All right. So Joe Fargo is all in on the Cowboys being the Super Bowl champion. I hope you're wrong, but you could be right. You definitely could be right. They're a good team. CeeDee Lamb is awesome. Micah Parsons, obviously, and Dak and Pollard is playing well. So they're a great team too. To me, and I haven't been paying that close attention to the Cowboys, it does seem that they keep on struggling against good teams though. They are beating the teams that they should beat, but they're struggling against the teams that, that the better teams.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know what? Hey, thank you for hanging out for this whole time. It's already almost 30. I'm not going to lie. I was, a little bit like, I don't feel like doing this today because I don't feel great, but this was super fun.
Well, I'm glad you decided to come on. It was fun, and we definitely got to do this more in 2024. It's definitely cool to, I love doing, jumping on many people's shows. I jump on Tony from Thinking Crypto. I chat with him about the markets. So a lot of fun to, get some different conversations going.
Oh yeah, man. Plus the color of the Eagles from the past Super Bowl isn't matching the picture. Okay, so Joe is like, look, your theory is bullshit.
Really? Hold on. What is it? What was the Super Bowl? I could have swore I went back and looked at each of them. So what would that be? 2023. What was that one? What are you talking about? It's literally got some, it's got some green in there. Green. It's the one in it from Arizona. Yeah. Like, hold on. Can I share my screen?
Yeah, share your screen.
Let me see. Let me show this. Let's see. How do I do this? There we go. Select, boom, share. I think you might have to bring it in. Whoops.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking at what Algo Knitter.
Right there. How's that not? Color scheme's almost there. I mean, yeah, it's not the perfect color green, but.
Oh, yeah. Okay, let's see. This is, there's green.
And then, yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you look at Super Bowl image 2024 right now, what we got coming, it looks like a
Red and purple.
Ravens 49ers. So, like I say, it's my tinfoil hat. Don't go betting money on my, out there theories, because who knows? I don't want you to lose money on that, but.
Yeah, don't lose money on that.
Predictive programming. Yeah, that is a thing. They definitely know that they can do it, because if they put it out there, you'll believe it. Even thinking back when you were talking about, with them playing recently, the Ravens and 49ers, right? Like, the NFL loves one thing, and it's arcs. It's story arcs. It's like Marvel, right? If you're a big Marvel fan over the past, decade of watching the movies, every single character in Marvel had a story arc, right? And they tried to pull you into them. The one that was sucked the most was the Hulks. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna say it. They destroy, like it literally made it awful. But Iron Man's arc, Captain America's arc, all of them are great. The NFL does the same thing with arcs and stories throughout the entire season to keep that audience just on the edge of their seat all the way to the Super Bowl to see what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And so,
are the Niners going to be able to redeem the Christmas blowout?
Yeah, it's gonna be a headline that's gonna give them so many talking points. That would be my thesis as to why that plays out. But it could be, it could be the Cowboys versus the Eagles, or no, I guess it wouldn't be that. Cowboys versus 49ers. I don't know. No, it couldn't be that one either.
Well, it could be the Cowboys versus the Niners in the championship game. Obviously.
Yeah. That I think that could very well happen, because that always tends to happen, and the Cowboys tend to lose that one the most. I think that was last year, right? Isn't that no?
Yeah,
it was the year before last, when they actually went to the Super Bowl, I think, or whenever they went to the Super Bowl recently, they beat the Cowboys, I think, in the championship.
Yeah, it definitely happened. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see that. I think the Niners earned the bye week, so they the number one seed in the NFC. So
yeah, and Ravens got the number one seed over on the other side, so wouldn't be surprised to see them.
Yeah. All right. Well, Crypto for Change, thanks for showing up, man. Thanks for hanging out. I'm not going to have a show tomorrow, everybody. I have a, I have to make money doing something. But on Wednesday, my show will be back, and it'll be back at 12:30 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday, as usual. And the next block is Thursdays, generally at 1 p.m. Eastern, correct?
We'll be dropping the interview with Juan Pablo from TravelX. So stay tuned this week for some interesting insight into what TravelX has got going on. Maybe we can squeeze some alpha out of him on any more airlines that can maybe be coming from, other regions of the world. That'd be cool.
Are you, have you already done the interview, or are you doing it this week?
Doing it this week. So still got time to, send us a DM if you got any questions, comment on the thread on our Twitter if you got any questions you'd like us to ask, and we can try to get those together.
Yeah, get your questions in for Seawill and Crypto for Change when they talk to TravelX, which they'll record this week and air it on Thursday. I'm excited to see it, man. I appreciate you coming by. And until next time, we should do this. We always talk about this. Me and you have been talking about this for over a year. Like every time we hang out and talk, like we're like, oh, we should do this more often. Well, we should. We should actually follow through on doing this more often.
Yeah, I definitely think too. Like we should try to create a. I've always wanted to do like a more chill, laid back. It could even be sports related, like just like even I have. I don't know if Restream or these streaming services would allow it, but have like a game like on like why, and we just kick back, have a beer. Talking about it, talking about sports, talking about just anything and everything. That'd be fun too.
That would be fun. We should do that.
Yeah,
let's do it.
Let's figure it out.
Well, so what we did learn is that some of the infrastructure in Algorand. Sorry, I'm going back to the conversation. I'm just thinking about. So they had to shut it down because the Algo node hasn't been able to handle all this traffic. So we see that there is more work to be done. The blockchain hums along perfectly, but all the machines running it need. I guess I don't know. The machines running it is fine. It's just these servers.
They got to pay more money. They got to pay more money. They got to up the ante. They weren't expecting all of us degens. You know, they were thinking we would be all out partying, getting drunk, having a good time, kissing strangers, peeing outside. Instead, we're the weird ones, literally staring at our TVs at, 10 o'clock at night, ready to hit juice and get a, like you said, get a fake, imaginary meme coin. So,
well, we definitely, but we definitely all overpaid last night. That's okay. Who cares? It's not that much. All right, guys. Well, happy New Year to all of you. I'll see you Wednesday. Make sure you tune into the next block on Thursday. All right. Thanks again, man.